Sorry.
Just being fucking stupid.
Stupid.
Okay. Welcome back to the Green Bros, everyone. This is episode 5, The Price of the Future.
Can you put a price on the future?
It's always, they always tell you it's priceless.
Something always has a price.
I bet you for like $20. What do the kids say? $20 is $20.
Do they?
I mean, I'm not going to make that joke.
Okay.
I'm not going to make that joke. Kids on Epstein Island probably think $20 is $20.
Oh, dude.
All right,
no.
so we're going to cut that. We're gonna
low. I don't think
that.
they get a choice, so.
Yeah, we're cutting that.
That's bad.
Anyways, so, all right, we didn't really get a chance to go into what we were going to talk about this week. I think we had made a few mentions just on things like we wanted to talk about the workforce today. We wanted to talk a little bit about the economy. And then, of course, we want to talk about possibly how Epstein's connected to some of the things that have happened in the economy.
You thought we weren't going to talk about it. There it is.
It's all right. He's in this too.
Yeah.
Because he's in everything, apparently.
You remember that old, how they portrayed Hydra in Marvel Comics?
That's exactly
tentacles and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how and it's the worst part is imagining the survivors, right? What they went through with Epstein. And it has to feel that way when they get to an agency and you're like, I'm finally going to tell someone this is what happened. I'm finally going to bust
and they're going to take
guy.
me seriously.
Yeah. And then everything gets put on a wraps and you start to get the creeping feeling that they're in on it too. I mean, we said, you can't say much for the FBI, the CIA right now, and everyone else that just can't seem to find all this evidence that's there. Release these files.
I find it strange, just slightly off topic, that other countries have found enough evidence to prosecute people in their country that were involved, but we're over here what do you mean?
What you talking about, bro?
What do you mean? What do you mean people are involved?
Okay, so I do just want to remind you and the viewers at home, the Dow was over 50.
Oh my God.
Well, the Dow is over 50,000. That's what's really important here. Not these rape victims, but the Dow.
I mean, that literally makes me feel that whole statement is like a dystopian statement. They're literally hey, we've destroyed these kids
and their lives,
but look how good.
Look how good these rich guys are doing with their companies. And their shareholders.
A lot of money, you guys. Would you want to ruin that for what? I don't know. 300, 400, 500, 6,000 kids? A meager?
I mean, if I'm clearly one of them, I'm going to go, fuck it. Hand me that cheese.
It is fucked up. And that's the worst part is I don't think a lot of people think about things like that. That's literally what we're measuring against. When someone like Pam Bondi comes out and tells you the Dow is over 50,000, which is why we shouldn't worry about Epstein
and
all
ridiculous.
The people who are involved who might have stocks in the Dow. Anyway,
let's just leave it as that's some preposterous shit.
Yeah, and I think we need to start questioning a lot of the legitimacy of those agencies.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, very much so. If you ain't wondering about why nothing's getting done because of the incompetence in these agencies, look who's involved.
Right. I mean, like we said, we've caught Cash Lion, we've caught Pam Lion, so.
But on to the point.
So the first point that we wanted to get in today, and
fucking Epstein. Sorry.
That's right, is kind of I'd say just a little bit of history, but we're not going to deep dive into it too much. There is a lot of information on what we're going to talk about out there. If people mark in the comments that they'd like to hear more about certain things, we could do shorts about them or something like that. Yeah, we could do some
deep dives into some more of the stuff. It's just more laying out the issues, laying down the questions we should have about these issues.
Yep.
And honestly, if you don't have a lot of questions about these issues, either you know way more than other people do, and you on the inside, and hey, tell me your secrets.
Yeah, exactly. What's up?
Tell me what we can leak and spoil some info on.
Yeah,
but no, seriously, there are a lot of situations, especially based on our economy, we should be asking questions on.
Yep.
especially things that relate to us, the average working people, those guys that have the 9 to 5s,
Yeah.
the dudes that are blue collar workers, the dudes that, and women that work in the retail industry, you know,
Nurses.
people who can't accumulate wealth the
Right.
way others can. We're the shit cleaners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We do all the
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, well, the other thing that's crazy too is it's always wild to me, like especially just going back to like nurses. You know, you hear about them in the economy and their pay, and you're just like, I couldn't imagine doing that job
Well,
for that pay.
you know,
That's a lot. To ask
even
of someone.
doctors get paid a lot of money.
Oh, sure.
You do a lot of schooling. You can run ragged.
Yep.
You live in that hospital.
Yep.
I can understand why a lot of those guys are irritable,
Yeah.
aggravated. You probably ain't been home in days.
I mean, we know that alcoholism was a big thing with a lot of doctors for
And
years, smoking. So I could see why, honestly, living that lifestyle, that's rough.
But the thing is, it shouldn't be that way.
No.
And our economy made it that way.
You know, one of the things I always looked at when I was curious, when I first started getting curious about our economy, was what were like the really good jobs? Because we always talk about like, man, back in the day, these jobs, they used to have bonuses and all that. So I looked in one day and I was like, what was a company like that growing up that was like generational family members?
I was going to say, it's not just a job. You found a career. You could work for a company. You could retire from said company, have a pension, be set. Your family legacy would take over in the company, and you'd fill roles. And you had companies that were flourishing because of that.
You built legacy.
You built legacy.
Yep. And we kind of lost that.
We did.
And so when you look in to see what happened and what companies used to be like that, you come across a company like General Electric, which big name, lots of products, can easily see.
General Electric, founded by Thomas Edison.
Yep. And can easily see when you look back at their history on why they were one of those generational careers where you'd want to bring in your kids and you'd want to bring in your family to work there because they were really good jobs.
One, it was a stable job.
Yep.
2, you got consistent raises.
Yep.
3, you got bonuses.
Yep.
4, you had consistent vacations.
Yep.
And you'd always get more.
Yep. And then if you guys are wondering what happened, what was the
Oh, man, I didn't even get to say 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
5, you actually enjoyed the job. It wasn't intolerable. It was enough to where you didn't wake up and hate yourself when you went to work that day.
Yep.
It was actually a solid environment that was productive. You got along with your coworkers for the most part. You weren't competing like it's made out to be today.
It really sounded like the American dream. Like in terms of like when you were told about like working hard and like
moving up
and having like a great career.
Right. They were a prime example of what that was.
Yep. But I'm sure everyone's asking, you know,
where did that go?
What was the big change? What happened?
Well, there's 2 things.
Yeah.
2 major things happened.
Yep.
They went after and tried to squash unions.
Yep.
Because unions are, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, unions provided you the 40-hour work week,
your weekends,
your 8-hour work days, and overtime pay.
Yep.
Otherwise, you were essentially a company slave prior to unions.
And please look that up. This is something that like they often try to spin as Henry Ford just graciously created the 5-day work week.
No.
That was pushed by unions who were sick and tired of their shit. And Ford knew the only way to get them to stop pushing for more money was to at least give them time off.
Ding, ding, ding.
So another big thing that happened.
But part 2.
And he's someone who helped institute that change, that first one you actually mentioned, was what I would say is Captain American asshole himself.
Captain piece of shit.
Jack Welch. You don't know who Jack Welch is, like anyone else we tell you about on the show or the podcast, we suggest you go look him up, learn about him. Jack Welch, what you'll find out.
We're going to tell you, even though you're going to go look for it.
That's right. We're going to give you the basics. And the basics was, he said, hey, fuck all these futures from your employees, all their pensions, their retirement. Let's just take that money and we'll give it to whale investors instead.
To break it into simple terms, it was forget long-term gains. Let's go for short-term gains.
Yep.
If we can get short-term gains consistently, Well, there's your long-term gains all over again, but they're not really long-term because they're short-sighted.
Right. So like Kyle brought up, I mean, that selling out your workers for whale investors just created a terrible loop and system for the average worker that now leaves you with no bonuses most of the time. Most companies create excuses why they can't pay more, but they want to brag about, record profits. When these companies brag about record profits,
It's wage theft
that's
from the employees.
That's just them celebrating wage theft. All they're doing is saying, guys, look at all the hard work you did. We'll spend about $120 in pizza to celebrate for you guys. And meanwhile, all that money you should have gotten for that, we're going to give that back to our investors. And if you notice, every job you go to, when you hear about the corporate level, what is it? Well, we got to take care of our investors,
We
our
got to
shareholders.
make sure our shareholders or investors are taken care of. But don't forget, you may not work for a publicly traded company. So they may not have public shares, but they probably have what's called private equity invested into them. And private equity is just a private bunch of investors who put money into a business expecting a return nonetheless. They're going to invest in the business. They want so much money back and to recoup those losses. Every major business, privatized or not, is involved with private equity in some way, shape, or form.
So, in my opinion, when you look at things like that, do you see that as something that after that happened, then somehow, because like a lot of times, right, when workers get more money, you imagine they're going to spend more on the food because they want to be able to get more food and stock up. They're going to spend more on like to get a better house or to get things for their home, right?
So,
like the average worker.
A great example used to be what Dad used to ask, actually.
Okay.
What's the big thing that you do when you get a raise?
You put most of it in the bank.
No, like you get a really good raise. You got your promotion, you got a raise. What was usually the first thing you'd go do?
I can't remember.
You take the family out and celebrate.
That's true.
Usually go have a really nice meal.
Yeah, that is true.
If you got kids, you want to go spoil the kids a little bit. If you're just married with a wife, whatever.
Take the new wife out.
New wife, husband, I don't give a shit, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, whatever.
But,
whatever.
You're going to take your partner out and on town.
Yeah.
You're going to celebrate.
Yeah.
That's money in the economy.
Right. Okay. So there we go. That's kind of what I was thinking.
So then now on top of that, he's got more money to spend. So now he can actually put away money.
Right.
And he can spend money.
Okay.
So now he's not just hoarding and he's not just getting by on the skin of his teeth, but now he can actually has play money.
So collectively more was going in the banks too, probably.
Well, sure. The bank's going to go up because they're going to have more collective value put into them.
Right.
But now the regular employee makes enough money, so he gets to go spend play money. Well, that's more money back into the economy again.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's going into things that he didn't necessarily need, but he always wanted, or they always wanted, and now they have the opportunity to purchase it.
That's true.
Because they have the value to do that. The economy always gets better when the lower and middle class has more money to spend.
Right.
I think people forget the elite wealthy in this country don't spend, they hoard.
Exactly.
If you hoard money, it doesn't go back into the economy. It doesn't process. It doesn't go anywhere else. It just sits and loses value, essentially.
And a lot of times we hear that supposedly they're reinvesting to create these better jobs. But what happens? A lot of times you go to these jobs and they're not great. They don't progress much.
They're usually bottom of the barrel,
repetitive jobs that a lot of people tend to hate. For most of the people I talk to,
you're underpaid.
Yeah,
you work long hours.
Yep.
You're expected to do so many things for this poor pay.
Right.
And it's not feasible. No, it's not even sustainable. That's why those places always have massive turnaround.
So
they become a revolving door of employees.
Which, I mean, you and I have been through.
God knows we've worked enough shops out here, and
we can easily tell you for a fact that's a fact. What they also like to do, and I'm not going to get into it today, just a side note, is this is why you'll see temp agencies pop up so much, right? These are just companies that are going to do the same thing you could do yourself, which is go on Indeed and find a job, except now the company is going to randomly decide, not randomly, but
they'll have a contract.
They're providing a service, right? But they just decide, hey, I'll pay this temp agency like $26 an hour, but I'm only going to pay the guy who's doing the work $17. Because, they got to pay the agency their part, right? But it blows your mind because you think, okay, but when I get hired in there, you're not making the 26.
Right.
Now, they were willing to pay for that service before.
But now that I'm here,
The guy who actually does the work.
The work that the first thing they always try to do is, well, we can bump you up to like 20 when you're hired in.
Yeah, that's what?
What?
And so you guys
I know what you pay the agency.
Right.
No.
What they're willing to pay for the job. So I would ask you then, deregulation, Kyle. Good for private sector, bad for not just private sector, but
It's great for business
great for business.
because, it brings back, the price gouging.
Yep.
It brings back, we can pollute the environment with no consequence.
Right.
You guys like drinking water, right?
Right.
Like clean drinking water? You may not want to get used to that.
Exactly.
Because with the way this administration's rolling back regulations, we ain't going to have that. But deregulation is always going to benefit a business, a company, a mass conglomerate of industries. It never benefits the regular person.
Nope.
Regulations are put in place to make sure, again, we're not getting poisoned water. We're not eating poisoned food or toxic food.
Like you guys have to understand, like, including like banking, right? People have to understand that regulation in banking ensures that bank has to have money on hand so you can withdraw. So we don't have, I don't know, like the Great Depression.
Oh, where everyone scrambled to pull their money out and there was just nothing there because the rich people took it all and hoarded it right away.
So you have to ask yourself
Weird.
when companies are telling you, man, we got too many regulations and we need to deregulate. Why?
They're always going to tell you with deregulation, they'll be able to pay their employees more. They never do. Anytime you hear a company claim they're going to be able to pay their employees more money, that is a blatant lie.
And if
blatant lie.
And if say I own a small business in a deregulated economy and you own a big business and your friends do, what happens to little guys like me?
Oh, we can squash you. We can squash you so quick, it's not funny.
You guys want to see a company that's really good? That look at Ray-Ban.
Yep.
They run the sunglass industry and they buy up the little guys. They're allowed to monopolize.
Folks, that's what the stock market is. It's a legalized monopoly.
Exactly.
Because what it allows is companies to buy out. They claim they're buying in to other companies, but what they do is they buy majority shares, which I'm sure most of you do know, and then they own said brand. Okay, well, if you own said brand and it's now part of your name, that's a monopoly, especially if you own every brand of sunglasses that exists.
Isn't there, and we'll have to get in this in another episode, isn't there some company out there, I'm trying to think of their name, that basically is one of the most massive investment companies that almost essentially has their hands in every company?
Ooh, I think I've heard of this company before. They got a really kind of ominous name.
What was it again?
Oh.
Was that, BlackRock.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
We're saying this sarcastically, folks.
Yeah. At this point, I would be surprised if most people don't know who BlackRock is because they literally own everything.
Do you remember?
And two other investment firms.
Do you remember a couple years ago? It might have been last year. No, I think it was a couple years ago when someone went and shot up the NFL offices in New York.
Yeah.
It's weird. They didn't really talk about who he really went to go shoot up.
No, but I heard there were some injuries.
One death.
And one death. Yeah, that's right.
A BlackRock executive, which was the actual target, and it wasn't the NFL offices. Now, why do you think the media would not let you know that this man targeted BlackRock executives?
You don't think it because like the way people treated like Luigi Mangione after the healthcare CEO thing, do you?
Oh, you mean like a hero?
Oh, yeah. Just like a hero. It's almost like someone played Robin Hood in a way, and then people actually treat him like they were Robin Hood.
Well, I mean, fun little fact.
Without giving all the money away.
Fun little fact, and you can look it up. Right after the United Healthcare CEO was assassinated, allegedly by Luigi Mangione.
Right.
It's weird. They approved for 2 weeks after that incident? Approved almost every claim that came through their door for insurance.
That's weird.
That's weird. But then they got a new CEO and it switched back.
Huh. Oh, yeah, that's right. I believe they let that CEO go.
They did.
Approved all those.
They did.
That's weird.
They did. And then they brought in a new one. And
it's almost like one CEO understood the message.
Yeah.
And now the new one doesn't.
Yeah.
You think Luigi's got family?
I know. He's probably got friends, though.
Just messing.
It's all in good fun. Or is it?
Or is it? All right. So a lot of this comes down to, when you hear things about deregulation, where you hear things about taxes, when you hear things about, kind of like we talked about last episode, kind of the fear mongering of, well, if you raise the taxes, the rich are going to leave. So we
They've
have
been
to
saying that
ask,
forever.
and we have to ask, who pushes those lies?
Ooh, I bet you it's mainstream media business channels and news and entertainment channels. There we go.
And definitely not like connected to any rich people though or anything, right?
No, God, no. Not like $1 billion funded company like Fox News behind Robert Murdoch or, the buyout of CBS by Larry Ellison.
Right.
Or Larry, whatever the fuck that Ellison family is.
So
aside from garbage.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what I was wanting to get to with that too is like, I just hope as Kyle and I go over all these things that while we do sarcastically make it obvious what we're trying to point out, I hope you guys are seeing that there is a lot of consistency where you're going to hear about the same, the rich people pushing these narratives, the same people preaching these narratives, how this all works in this broken system that we all talk about is fucking broken.
Hey, now that the big beautiful bill was passed last year, how many of you are saving money on your paychecks?
Yeah.
I'll wait, because I know it's none of you who are under six figures.
And the worst,
you lost money.
Well, look at the people who make under like, what was it, 35,000?
Yeah, you get hammered.
They get like hammered for like 73%.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And this is
tax the poor into oblivion, Josh. Then they're homeless, and then we have to imprison the homeless because that's the new bill he wants to bring out.
And that's my thing is, this is kind of goes back. I was going to get to this a little bit later, but it does come into point now. It fits now. Is this kind of brings me back to the water cooler talk, right? This is kind of that moment where you're like, okay, if I were talking about building a society and making sure everyone was doing their fair share, paying their fair share, I don't see any world in which I'm talking to most of the family I know, even Republican side, or even friends I have who are Republican side. When you put it in a neutral kind of talking point context, and you're like, hey, look, okay, if I make this much money, and I make a lot compared to you guys, why would you be cool with the idea of me being like, so I think to balance things out in the economy, if I just pick a little bit from all of your pockets collectively more,
right,
that should cover things instead of obviously me being able to pay that and take care of it. And it kind of takes me back to the pizza metaphor.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
you and your boys,
yep,
having a night of drinking.
You guys decide, you know what?
We need a pizza.
We need a pizza. We're hungry. So, and this was actually a situation I was a part of, and I used as an example to my buddies. And so we got a pizza, and everyone's eating. Of course, we're talking about the price of the pizza and how much it costs and how much
we're going to divvy it all up.
Right? Which, of course, right there is a beautiful form of socialism. So we divvied up, and it turns out I'm $5 short. Right now, my buddies were making a good bit more than I was at their jobs compared to me, and one of my buddies said, "Hey, I'll cover the $5." And I said, "Hey, I'll pay you back when I can." He said, "Don't worry about it. I'm good. Like I'm doing good, so I'll just cover it." And it's kind of moments like that I use as an example of them too, of how you can quantify the idea of socialism and the idea of taxes and certain groups managing their fair share, and how it's not a sweat off of their back nearly like it is trying to charge a bunch of people make under 35K 73% of their fucking.
It was no different than when I was making really good money at the machine shop with you and your friends.
Right.
I would take you guys out to eat, take you to go get shit.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't bother me. Oh my God, I spent a few extra dollars to have a good time with some friends.
Right.
Or to have people have a good time.
Or like, I had buddies, and I'm not going to go over names, but like buddies who weren't as well off as us, and definitely not doing as well as Kyle was by himself. And there'd be times where their families could hardly afford to get them, $60, $70 gifts here and there, like most families. And Kyle had a well-paying job, and he just, hey man, you want this game? I get this for you. So luckily I've had an example like that too, where I've seen people who are more well off than I am always be happy with helping hand, reaching out. And so we should consider on how to quantify things like that in our economy, and how we should have those who are wealthy and more well off being able to help carry their burden of the economy. Like Kyle and I
It's not even
discussed
carry the burden; it's carry their load. You dumped the burden of this economy onto everyone else's shoulders while you walk around scot-free acting like you work so fucking hard.
Right.
You are the laziest bunch of shits on our fucking earth.
And it's naive for these guys to sit at the top and somehow expect as though they should be respected for their hard work in creating these jobs. The jobs everyone else does to keep your fucking business going, you asshole.
Hey, I don't know about you or any of you viewers, but every place I've worked outside of one, I've never seen a CEO lift a finger at their job.
Well, hear me.
No, like for real. I've never seen them do a fucking thing aside from walk in, act like they're fucking hot shit, and then walk out.
Give a speech.
I don't care what you have to say.
Yep.
And my favorite is always we're going to brag about what we profited to our employees that we underpay. And then, we're really going to spout off how if we just put in that little extra effort, we can expand and everyone gains more. I've never gained nothing in those positions. Nothing.
I think there's other things that speak for themselves too, right?
Oh.
Well, let's talk about the job market real quick. I got a fun example for everyone that I think about. All right. So in the economy now, right? Shit, job market,
Terrible.
hard to get a job, right?
Bottom of the barrel.
Everyone fighting for poopy jobs at this point. Big old poopy dupes. But in a good economy, what happens?
Man, you got people begging to be hired. Companies begging to hire people.
Exactly.
Because they need people to fill them spots.
So here's what I think. This is a bit like its own version of the monopoly experiment, right? CEOs have this crazy idea that their jobs are gifts to the world, right? That what they build is a necessity, even if it's TVs, because we know it's not, right? In their mind, they are a necessity. This is that entitled mentality that they like to project on everyone else. But what happens if we all took this economy, for example, and we went back to homesteading, and I didn't need your eggs, and I didn't need your meat, and I didn't need much of what any of your stores had to offer.
I got the lumber. I can produce my own furniture. I know how to sew.
Let me ask you something. Who's fucking help now? So maybe that's why we have the economy we do, huh? Maybe some smart guys out there figured out, oh, gee fucking willikers. If everyone had a decent life, who's going to come in and build all this shit for me? Isn't that what it really is?
Well, on the real note anyway, with the push for AI and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone worrying about losing their jobs. You know who the first jobs that should be eliminated with AI?
CEOs.
They can manage the business better than you can.
Yeah, they can make all the decisions based on probability and run the math themselves. And guess what? We don't have to pay them massive fucking parts of the company. We can reinvest.
You can eliminate your CEO, your vice president, 90% of your sales team, because you can automate all that. You don't need a sales team now.
Dude, they can rejoice.
You can now sit on your ass and do nothing like you've already been doing.
Exactly. And the company gets to do that thing they love to tell you they're going to do. Reinvest all that money.
Instead of just letting some worm pocket it.
And I think part of the issue, that we had come along, and Kyle and I dealt with it, like when we actually, funny enough, worked at GE, is grind culture. I'm sorry, it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of.
I don't know how many days we got into work and somebody in there was bragging about that. I did this 16-hour day, boys.
Yo,
I'm hot shit.
You got to be fucking
dumb.
kidding me.
You dumb.
How can you guys embrace the idea in a world that you have to fight for every penny more, right? But you're gonna happily embrace that. I gotta be here for my 16s. I'm gonna get that company money.
Hey, bro, Elon tells you he works 60 hours a week and you fucking believe that?
Doing what? Sitting in front of a fucking computer?
That dude don't work.
Looking at someone else's progress?
I can't.
Wow.
I can't name you one CEO or one executive in a business that's ever done anything with their hands aside from.
Hey, guess what?
Oh, look how much money I made.
Hey, Elon, you didn't invent Tesla, bitch.
You didn't invent anything.
You don't invent anything.
You didn't invent PayPal.
You guys can look that up too.
You didn't invent Tesla. You didn't invent the Boring Company.
You can look that up.
You did invent SpaceX. but
Oh.
you didn't actually do anything but throw money at it.
Oh, if you guys want to see something cool SpaceX did, speaking of like companies just shit all over people, they love to use things like eminent domain to just go take people's land in Texas. So go look at how SpaceX got started in Texas is they took people's land to have their property to do it.
It's like, you think Bezos ever built anything or programmed anything? No, he paid people. I'm tired of hearing this praise culture for these fucking knobs that don't do shit and have never done shit. We claim we're a meritocracy, but y'all praise fucking bums.
Yep.
Just because they were born with a silver spoon in their ass.
Okay. Look at these numbers. If I look at like the tax rate now is 37% for the this is just filers over 640K for single and over 768K for married, right?
Right.
But you go look back in like the 40s and 50s when things were better for the working class, and you're talking we're excuse me, we're at rates hovering around 91 to 94%. So you guys wonder why there's a difference there.
You can just look back into the 50s. We
Right.
taxed the wealthy a tax rate of 91%.
Right.
I mean, we did not hesitate to make sure they paid their fair share.
That's right.
And then you let them crybaby the government to just coddle them.
Well, oddly enough, what it shows is that what that has initially stemmed from was from the war, right? Those high tax rates.
Correct.
But what we saw.
But they were already taxed high beforehand. They just upped it during the war.
Right. Which was effective for booming the economy. Let's just remember that. But then we see that for post-war trends, these top marginal rates were later reduced, falling to 70% in the 1960s and to 28% by 1988. Who was president at the time?
I believe there was this dude who bragged about his trickle-down economics. What was that guy?
What the fuck is that?
Wasn't he some lousy failed actor?
Trickle down? I've never seen a damn dollar trickle down to me.
Hey, wait a minute. Wasn't he a Republican actor?
That guy? It couldn't be. You know, they're conservative.
I know, and they always hate Hollywood people, but yet they elected 2 Hollywood people to be president. I think his name was Reagan.
Oh, yeah, that asshole.
Ronald Fuckface Reagan, who was a piece of shit.
That's right.
Yeah, Mr. Hollywood knows best for America.
So that's what I'm saying. You guys have to take in all these things into account. These are a lot of times, these are things that are adjusted and set into place without much of your consent. And a lot of it is going to be based
It's done behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's done behind
so you
closed
don't
doors.
know it's been done.
But people need to understand what's going to benefit the country. There was a good article, I believe it was by the Concord Correlation, and they were at least fair. They were going back and forth, kind of also playing devil's advocate. And they had actually stated that there are many ways to raise additional revenue from the rich other than increasing marginal tax rates. The tax code is replete with tax expenditures, aka loopholes, that tend to confer higher benefits on those with higher income. In 2024, CBO projects that tax expenditures will total $2.1 trillion, roughly equal to 43% of all revenues. Policymakers would do well to consider limiting tax expenditures as an alternative to just simply raising rates as a way of seeing that the rich pay their fair share.
Agreed.
And I would agree.
I would agree with that. And
I think that's something that, like, myself, I didn't consider in the past. As obviously I thought about it as loopholes that I knew we had loopholes to take care of, but we don't understand how the expenditures are used as loopholes.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of ways that, don't get me wrong, makes sense for expenditures to be covered with some of that. But obviously we've seen how terribly damaging it can be once all these people just start taking ridiculous amounts of money that was supposed to go back into the economy and take their money out of the country, essentially.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you and I talked about with the economy in general. I don't know why people get this idea that if we have this pot of money that we need to run the city, why we think that someone taking a quarter of it that they were supposed to pay and taking that back, and we're like, that guy's a genius for doing that. That guy's a genius.
No, you're a thief.
You're a thief.
You're a thief.
we all agreed, right? We all agreed to pay our fair share. So I don't get how with great power comes great responsibility, but with a lot of money means I should pay the smallest amount.
That's for poor people. Stop it.
That's the poor person mentality.
Because that's all it is around here. It's a lot of preach, but don't practice shit.
Yep.
They're the first to go on TV and go, the economy's so rough, we had to cut jobs again. Didn't you guys have record profits last year? Yeah, well, the economy this year is projected to be rough.
It's not looking good, you guys.
And I need my $80 billion bonus this year. So I had to cut 60% of my workforce.
You guys believe that crap?
Why do so many of you Americans, including some of my family, why do you get sucked into that BS?
Yeah.
Why do you believe what somebody with billions of dollars that does not give a shit about you? Why would you believe what they tell you?
And you guys have to understand that at this point, and it kills me with the skepticism of some news agencies while you actively still go back to the same ones who are the same thing. It's no different than these rich people are getting together and being like, okay, you own the news station, you're going to preach XYZ. And then somehow the people who are literally getting fucked by those people are like, well, I mean, I don't know, the assholes who are fucking me said XYZ, and I'm just going to believe that.
I'm going to believe it.
Even if the proof is in the pudding.
Like, I got to pay these higher gas prices right now because it's the only way we can make it through. Got to support the system, USA, bro.
Yeah, can we get out of our own way for a second? Can we actually talk facts, not just feelings?
Can I ask a real major question? Why are so many of you so proud to be fucking stupid?
Seen during the debates, a lot of these people get challenged on their facts during these debates. Shout out to like Dean Withers and Parker who debate a lot of these guys. But Dean and Parker put these guys in their place or ask them a basic question about their ideals surrounding Trump or the economy, and they can't answer. It resorts to name calling or asking dumb fucking questions. That has to, at some point, you have to put your own ego fucking aside and go, you know what? I was wrong. I was unprepared. I don't know the answer. And that's part of the fucking problem.
You know what's amazing? More of us can respect our fellow Americans when they flat out go, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
If I can come up to you and go, so what do you think of the current situation? And you look at me and you are blatantly honest of, I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I can't blame you because I don't know what to make of half this shit anymore.
I mean, we teach children. You have to admit when you do something wrong.
Why adults cannot do this?
Right. Why can some adults have such trouble just going, man, you know what? I was wrong. I really got sold on that bullshit too. Like they had me.
I'm sure it's going to happen. We're going to say something infactual on here and I'm going to have to pop on, or one of us is going to have to pop on and go, hey, that was wrong.
We were wrong.
We were wrong.
So
our bad.
RB, we'll go ahead and redact it like the government and pretend it never happened after this. You guys lucky we have admission at this point. Save it. Clip this. No, I'm just playing.
But seriously, if it comes to it, yeah, we have to admit mistakes. You have to admit mistakes. They happen. It's a part of life, and it's a part of going through life.
And in terms of the economy, what would you say going forward? And we've seen obviously in some other countries, because the point I'm getting to is, what do we have in this country that can help workers that I think a lot of people are kind of confused on?
Oh, man. I bet you it's this thing that Europe has that's really, really well known.
Europe has them?
Yeah. The whole continent has it.
I know.
I think it's called a union.
That's right.
A union.
Yep. So one of the big dumb points I get a lot, and don't get me wrong, like,
are there shit unions? Yes.
Yeah, there's shit unions.
Yes.
There's going to be shit workers in unions. But here's the thing, right? I have so many people come up and be like, yeah, but if you're in a union, not only do you got to pay them money for your union dues off your check, but then you get these lazy guys and they're unionized. You can't get them out. Kyle and I have dealt with that at plenty of non-union shops.
I see more lazy people in non-union shops that are friends with some member of management, and that's how they got the job, and they never get fired because they're bums.
So what?
They just go in and coddle balls, and they keep their job.
You know what the difference it made? It means when that guy who's friends with your manager decides that he doesn't like you and decides to make your job living shit, and you want to say some shit to him, or you want to go sit down and talk to him about it. In one situation, you have protection. In another situation,
you lost your job.
It's that friend's hearsay to the manager, and you lost your job. I guarantee that shit. So, yeah, you're going to have to pay. The union needs its dues to, obviously, they also have to.
So the dues are twofold.
Yeah.
The dues act, for one, to cover certain things that occur during your employment at the company and inside the union.
Yep.
Two, they come in majorly handy anytime a union goes on strike. Those dues are funded to pay out on unionized members' paychecks.
Yep. And you guys have to understand.
That's where your sub pay comes from.
And here's the other part they don't want to tell you. A lot of these union jobs, like for example, right here, and we'll post the link in the description, but state minimum wages that are on average 19% higher than the national average and 40% higher than those in low union density states. So anywhere you go, there's going to be a wage increase with the union.
Yes.
And that's already basically going to cover your dues. So a lot of times when employers try to tell you, oh, it's more money off your check, it's going to cover itself.
My favorite line I've heard out here in Missouri, especially, we can pay you better than a union.
Yep.
The pay never shows up. It's just this. Right, Dave?
Yep.
Right?
And that's what these guys want. A lot of these guys, you got to realize, like, a lot of these people are fucking lazy. Of course, they want the status quo. They want to be the lazy guys while you do all the work and they get a higher paycheck. Of course, they don't want things to change. Most of your leads and supervisors aren't going to try to make things better for you.
No.
They're going to get grease to keep you happy and content where you are, throw you some pizza for a bonus, and they're going to go collect an actual bonus and take their family on vacation to like Italy or something.
Hey, guys, I know we just made $5 million this month, but here's some cheap shit nachos, one piece of meat sandwich from Hy-Vee. Be grateful, bro. We broke the bank for you.
Yep.
But it does kind of bring us to our second talking point, though.
Yeah. Yep.
The destruction of the American dream.
Now, we obviously kind of talked about, a big portion of what happened there with guys being like Jack Welch coming in and creating this investor is everything mindset, right?
Got to help the investors, guys. Got to make sure they keep pumping money in here.
Yep.
We got to turn everything into the stock market.
But then you had a bunch of union jobs essentially that went away, and over time now, instead of going to generational jobs, we kind of got a messed up version of that, which became nepotism.
Yes.
So we now see, and I'm sure plenty of you guys have experienced it. You're going to go into a job, position opens up. Here comes Tommy Ding Dong, right? And he's your manager's cousin, and he's a dipshit.
He ain't ever done the job. He ain't ever worked in your field.
Nope.
The guy's never held a job.
They're also going to skip your friend you referred, who has 20 years experience, owns all his own tools, shit like that.
Because Tommy No Balls over here,
Tommy
his
Ding
cousin.
Dong.
No, he's Tommy No Balls.
Oh, sorry.
Because he don't know how to do shit, and he ain't got the balls to actually tell anybody how to do shit either.
Yep.
He gonna get the job. And
Yep.
he's gonna be your new boss. And you're gonna report to that dipshit every day.
Yep. And that's the worst part is people like that will most likely be promoted before you are.
And the worst part is he's gonna pawn all that work off on you.
Kyle and I have literally seen people failed up in jobs or move to better departments because they weren't going to make it in an old one. I'm sure plenty of you guys have too. And you guys know it's an issue. Look how damaging that is to the workplace. And all these things quantify out, right, to your economy. It all spreads out. Same idea when those same people get into anything. Same thing when those people get into politics. Same thing when those people get to help push policies and laws, right? None of it's for you guys. It's for them. It's this all me or nothing mentality. And we see essentially that what happens with a poor job market and the economy. We're seeing it right now.
It's brutal.
It's brutal.
Everybody's always asking for employees, but you'll contact the company. They'll tell you, oh, we have to leave that up for tax reasons. We're not actually hiring right now.
Right.
So you're falsely advertising that you need work.
And on top of that, again, you have people who aren't making as much. They're not spending as much, like we brought up in the first talking point. These people are now not going and spending that money in the economy like they were, which kills me that you would think more businesses who do make money off of the benefit of people making more money, like grocery stores, big box stores, things like that.
Your clothing stores, your furniture stores, those would all be making bank if you had a stable economy.
Yeah, and you'd think you'd see them lobbying to actually help create a stable economy. weird that lobbying only seems to go the other way.
Oh, it's only for, certain ways,
And of course, like we've seen the fear mongering to we've talked about it before and we brought it up earlier with they're going to move if you raise the tax rates. And
Folks, I have one thing to say to that. Bye.
yep.
Bye. Take your
Honestly.
crappy job somewhere else then. Take your crappy business somewhere else. We ain't going to miss you.
That's true. I mean,
Get your grimy shit ass out of our state then.
there's nothing that people who can't do the job every day can threaten from the people who can take their job and rebuild it, their whole business from the ground up. They were doing it every day. Those were all your working parts. You think they just fucking forgot after you leave? They'll just build a new business without you.
Yep.
And guess what? Now that your business isn't here, there's a void in the market.
Void that needs to be filled.
Yep. So we also have to look at things like today too, like what is a livable wage? What should people be making if their wages kept up with inflation?
You folks are going to love this one, honestly. Especially when you find out how bad you've been getting fucked.
Yep. So if you look at, like, let's just say the minimum wage, right? Just right now, if it kept up with inflation, according to the MIT living wage calculator, a livable wage is $25 to $50 an hour.
Well, we also know 25 is not.
Right. And if wages kept up with inflation, wages for minimum wage would be anywhere between $20 to $26 an hour.
Minimum wage, folks.
Minimum.
Not starting wage. That's the minimum wage.
Now, if you guys want something that really makes you fucking
Want to know what you
sick,
should have been making regularly on an hour?
I want you guys to go, if you can right now, I would check out while we're talking about it, but go Google how CEO pay and compensation has gone up over the last 70 years, right?
Versus worker compensation.
Because what you'll find is it's about 1,000% compared to like a workers that went up 24% in that time.
And before some knob comes into the comment section going, well, they need to pay their fucking overhead and shit. No, the overhead's covered, my boys.
Mm-hmm.
Boys and girls, it's covered.
So
what it is it's corporate fucking greed.
So without that greed, if your wages had actually gone up, structured the way it should have, increasing with the CEOs the way it should have, you'd be making $430 an hour.
So nice, don't it?
Let that fucking settle. Think how much you'd make a week. Now think how much you'd make a month. Now imagine how much you make a year.
Now imagine how bad you're getting fucked by the company that you work for, the government you live under, because they're just taxing you left and right because they don't give a fuck about poor people. And go, man, am I okay with that? Is that a good system?
And you got to think, right? This is despite seeing changes leading to all these advancements in manufacturing and logistics and travel. It's so crazy that we never see any trickle down from that, right? McDonald's, they told you, if I raise the minimum wage of a worker to $15 an hour, I have to charge people $15-20 a burger.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. It's already proven in other states.
No, not even other states. Look up what a burger from McDonald's costs in, let's say, Sweden.
Yep.
Versus what an employee gets paid there.
Yep.
It's not much of a difference from what they're charging here, folks.
But don't you think?
But that employee gets paid like 20-something plus an hour.
But don't you guys think it's a little weird? They went and got kiosks, started taking orders, but prices didn't go down, did they?
Weird.
Nah.
It's like them self-checkout lanes at the grocery store. You know,
Yep.
They eliminated jobs, but the prices never went down.
So, which confuses me because it seems like all these companies always want breaks and relief because they're creating all these jobs and booming the economy, even though it's shit.
But yeah,
jobs
we're
that no one
always
likes.
losing jobs.
So they can automate things.
Because layoffs are happening left and right. They automate things and then the prices stay stagnant or they go up and inflate.
Yep.
They never go down.
So you guys need to think about that with your economy. You need to look at the fact that, I don't know, I mean, Kyle and I talk about all the time. They destroyed the American dream. It's fucking not worth it anymore. I can't tell you.
George Carlin said it best. The American dream, you got to be fucking asleep to believe it.
That's a fucking fact because they killed it.
It's dead. They beat it like a dead horse.
You got to think we're never going to see houses prices change. What's that do? I mean, fuck, I thought for sure, look at it took China until what? They collapsed their whole real estate market and sold to all the companies before they finally had to start creating little ways to get people to start buying houses again.
Yep. Well, they had to drastically drop the prices of the homes and apartments there.
And you guys need to realize, I don't know how else to put this. It's not their fucking money they're doing this with.
It's taxpayer money.
It's all these guys.
It's yours and mine's money.
It's all our fucking money that all these guys are going around and they're just making the world of it. And you know what they realize? No one's paying a fucking attention. So they're going to keep doing it and they're going to do it worse. And now they got their friend in it. They got their family members doing it. And meanwhile, we're going to go fucking work until we're 95 and die.
I mean, what is the new thing? You can't collect Social Security now until you're past 70?
Social Security, your fucking money. And how often do we hear dipshit politicians be like Lindsey Graham, well, that's money on the table.
No. Let's really lay this on the line because it's only one set of politicians that constantly want to go after that, and it's the fucking Republicans.
Yep.
It's weird how you freeloading fucking bastards in that party always want to hack into our fucking money.
Someone else's hard-earned fucking cash, and you can't keep your hands out of it. But man, when it comes to paying the fucking tab, you book it.
You fuckers are the party of protecting and pedophiles. You're fucking leeches. You're the biggest freeloaders. You are the fucking cucks of the nation.
And if you don't like it,
congratulations, Republicans.
You don't like it. How about your actions speak louder than your fucking words? Because I hear you guys doing a lot of fucking blah, blah, blah all the time about being the
violent left, but yet we're always committing the shootings left and right and getting violent.
Or judging people and, because you're the most Christian national group out there and no one compares to you.
You're the most projective pieces of shit that ever walked the fucking earth.
It's disgusting. We're all tired of it. The routine's old. I'm not going to keep hearing the same shit on the news from all these dipshits.
Or your whataboutisms.
Like, how the fuck can people even listen to dumbasses like Jesse Waters or whatever the fuck her dumbass name is, the blonde?
Megyn Kelly, Laura Loomer.
And the worst of all, Stephen Miller's fucking dumbass. If you can actually listen to that fucking moron talk, have you guys even seen how he used to talk? He's the same entitled fucking loser asshole who couldn't do shit in high school. He can't do shit now.
He peaked in middle school, and he's still the same shit.
And if he were stuck out on his own, he's fucking dead, right? He's not going to survive. He's the same lazy, entitled piece of shit who needs everyone else to do everything for them because all of these people do is project about how lazy and entitled everyone else is. But look at their worthless asses, huh? Fucking wild. So, for the third talking point.
You're probably wondering, how does Epstein tie into all this?
That's right. And how do you potentially tie into the 2009 financial collapse?
Well, I'm going to say it's something crazy. I bet it had to do with money and moving money around.
That's wild. Well, it turns out that, and this turned into a lawsuit between Epstein and a group called Bear Stearns, but apparently, in the 2009 financial collapse, he had somewhere between 20 to 40 million invested compared to what people initially believed was 57 million. Right?
Oh my God. A few mil in that degree is like chump change to those people. Chump change, sorry.
And the dealings with this money essentially led to issues with this company and essentially a big part of the collapse in 2009. I'm guessing it was because he wasn't the only one doing things like this.
No, because if you read the one email, and I don't know if we'll have it linked, but there is an email in there. And I think you can actually look up from 2009 dates and you'll find it. He talks about how he's foreseeing the collapse and a bunch of guys are talking about it and they got to hurry up and move their money now. Yeah.
And there's even emails too about the Bear
Of course,
Stearns.
they redacted every other person he sent the fucking email to.
Oh, yeah.
Because we protect garbage in this country.
Yep. And that's another thing. I mean, again, it's look at how much damage these people did to this economy. And essentially, we don't even hear about a big part of it until now. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm sure if you paid attention to economics, you would have heard about Bear Stearns and the shit with Epstein. But you just think it would be such a big red flag of like, kind of like the Great Depression was. Here's all these glaring issues that happen.
Right.
Here's how they happen. We need to fix them. Right.
Yeah, this is what's coming in. We need to put in, I can't find the word for what I'm using. Safeguards, yeah, to protect from this collapse. And instead, we're just like, pretty flowers.
Yeah. Like when the one guy I used to work with, he said it's like being the kid with the butterfly on his nose, or he's just
Yeah.
you're just so in your own world. And then the crazy part was apparently confirmed by multiple sources that Epstein had help from bankers and billionaires after the collapse. So
That would not surprise me just because of all the ties he had.
well, right, and that to me indicates that he essentially had some other safeguards most likely in place.
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't going to take any hit. He might have lost a few mil, but that's about it. I know how it sounds. Oh, he might have lost a few mil.
Right.
Well, for those guys, dude, $1 million is like fucking pennies.
Yeah. I mean, you guys got to think those guys.
When you have that type of wealth, that's pennies.
Yeah, like it's nothing. So, and again, like Kyle said, we know that Epstein was a guy who kind of made his name for what we find out now, obviously with the trafficking, but with the wealthy folks.
He was a financier for the billionaire class.
So he moved money. He could help you reduce your taxes by moving money. We know things like shell companies exist overseas. That way you can essentially say, hey, I can't pay this much in taxes. I got to use that to fund my company overseas.
But the part that kills me, and it was multiple people that said it in the emails, he was ass as a financier.
Right.
He couldn't fucking make money if his life fucking depended on it.
Honestly, what it seems like, and again, this is definitely speculation, is what it kind of comes across as he wasn't good at the job, managed to actually find a way to hide the mistakes he most likely made while doing the job.
Yeah, and
the guy was like, can you do that again?
Right.
And he's like, okay.
Okay, yeah, I can fuck up and fix it, I guess.
And then when he started to realize what he was doing, he obviously probably wasn't going to turn on anyone. He was like, hey. And then you got to think, if guys like, I've theorized before, like maybe Les Wexner helped groom someone like him.
Well, absolutely. Like, we've
mean?
discussed that. Like, I'm sure there's businesses that do that similar shit. They groom a specific person to be that type that they can go in. They have all that charisma, but they just fucking suck at what they do.
Yeah. And so
but they'll talk you up like and make you feel like, you know what you're doing, bro. I'm fucking all on board this shit.
Yeah, they're your biggest hype man, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're fluffing you up or blowing the hot air.
They're blowing that smoke up your ass.
Yeah. And so we should be asking as a society. I have seen plenty of people ask this question, and it's obviously something we have to push harder for in regulation. Is we know all these loopholes exist. We know guys like Jeffrey Epstein was known for doing shit like this. Why don't they close the loopholes?
And again, guys, it's not just Jeffrey Epstein that did this. It's pretty much every wealthy person in this country uses and abuses these loopholes.
To some degree, you have
and
to
let
understand.
me specify wealthy too. I'm talking like multimillionaire guys.
Yeah. We're not talking.
I'm not going to bash a dude who made $1 million plus off his like small business and is finally succeeding. You guys probably have nothing to do in that regard.
And you got to understand that it could be so egregiously out of hand these days that plenty of people who are wealthy, who have their taxes done by a big firm, whatever, plenty of these guys might not have an idea that what's happening is exactly like hiding some of their taxes.
Right.
A lot of these tax guys, they know the codes, they know how to write things off. And you got to think, like, if you really want to create a lot of jobs in this company, or in this country, you'd go back to creating a bunch of IRS tax auditors, right?
Yeah.
Which you could implement with the help of a lot of AI, like AI systems. But they're not going to do that. We know that these people all seem to get benefits from these loopholes. They don't really have a reason to close them. Trump called out the loopholes like back in 2016.
Yeah.
And the one thing he was honest about is he's like, with Hillary, he's like, well, you're not going to close them because you and your friends use them too.
And he ain't wrong.
He's not fucking wrong.
He ain't wrong.
So, and that's why you obviously don't see Trump. Of course, he's gonna preach the ERS they were gonna make there for a while, which they obviously haven't done shit with.
He also, donates all his money. Yeah, right. But
yeah. Also, I want you guys to realize, just a side note, and we can always try to get into it more later, but when you hear people about donating to things like certain charities and everything like that,
look into those charities.
You need to know who controls those charities. A lot of those guys can essentially donate to charities they own, give the monies back to themselves, and just use it as a tax write-off.
Yep.
That's all it's for. And they look incredibly charitable doing it, right?
But that money never gets used for charity.
Bezos can donate $1 bajillion trillion to this charity, but most of it can just go back to him.
Right back into his pocket.
So I'll just kind of get to the end here. The big message, or one of the other kind of big things people should think about is how much damage to the economy has been hidden from the public eye.
Massive.
I think it's
If
almost
you've-
incalculable.
If you've
at
been
this point.
scaling our economy on the stock market this whole time, our economy's destroyed. We have no economy.
Yeah.
We are literally running on shit and fumes.
Yeah.
I mean that's the truth of the matter. The wages are so shit in this country. For the most part, no people are living so paycheck to paycheck that you fart wrong, you're losing your house.
Yeah.
Because you'll miss a day at work.
Yeah. I mean, think again, like I said, we have
Healthcare is so out of hand, you can't miss a day to work. You lose the house, lose your car,
right.
lose whatever.
Too hefty of a health bill. You know, you're losing your place. Yeah, there's so many, and like I said, guys, there's so many reasons that all this happens, and this is why we try to break down some of them in this episode. But like we told you guys, like it should not be like this. Just mathematically, we can go look and just with the success of our country, no one should be living like this.
We can just prove through mathematics that you've been lied to by the rich and wealthy to just settle for less constantly.
So
constantly take less and less, but do more for me.
And like we said, you know, last episode, we wanted the big message to be at the end of the video is that the people responsible for that are you. Your complacency, you not saying anything, you not protesting. That would be no different than you going to a job and someone taking advantage of you. And when you quit, you just say, well, it's not for me. Instead of the guy just literally being like, well, you never said anything was wrong. You know what I mean? And you know there's people out there who are going to push as far as they can until someone says, hey, that's enough. It shouldn't be like that.
But it's just the society that we live in. People are very lax as long as they have comforts.
But like I tell people, take those situations and quantify them up. And you start to realize how these things happen. And I think that we kind of have to ask ourselves then to kind of conclude on this episode is, you know, what does it cost to build a better future and what do we need to do to get there?
I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
The rich need to pay their fair share.
Yep. We obviously know the rich need to pay their fair share. We know the corruption's an issue. We know the loopholes and the whole idea of a broken system that
regulation should be untouchable.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like being a drunk and you're like, I admitted I was a drunk. And everyone's like,
I'm gonna have another beer.
And everyone's like, you have to go through the rest of the fucking recovery, right? You can't just admit
no, we're good. Now I get the beer.
And that's kind of like what we are here in the US. We're like, the system's broken.
And
do you guys think it's gonna just fix itself? Do you think all these rich people making a bunch of money off you being complacent are gonna do something to change it?
Folks, we know how it goes, right? We get angry, we protest. Protests do nothing. They take it as a joke. Then what happens?
Yep.
I'll let you piece that together on your own.
I think we've told people before, you know, and whether it be our posts on our personal Facebook, I think we might even brought up in episode 1. Protests are the warning.
They're the warning.
That's all I got to say.
They're the first and last warning.
Yep.
You want to keep ignoring them? Fine. You can see the consequences of that.
So I think we should also lead into next week, maybe talking about the importance and what, because people probably hear it a lot, but what is the importance of owning the means of production? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I'm sure you guys will hear that a lot. It's probably going to become more relevant over time. And you should know. You should understand owning the means of production, how that affects your world, your economy,
your life,
and your life altogether, your family's life. And then I guess we could ask ourselves to kind of end the video, what should progressive society look like? What's that bright utopian future that benefits everyone? And why does it seem like more people in our country don't aspire to that?
I think that's a fair question to ask to end it. So I know what future I would like to see.
Definitely.
And I hope yours is somewhat similar.
Yeah, I would hope that everyone's got a, bright, hopeful future.
At least a thought in mind of what you would like to see, how you think it should be.
Yeah, what do you think jobs would be like? What do you think the economy would be like? What do you think going to your store?
What would a work week be like in an actual utopia?
Taking the family out, what would that look like?
How many vacations do you think you should be able to take a year?
Yep, and maybe compare that to some of the...
mind you, without struggling.
Yeah, of course. And an actual realistic budget.
Right.
And maybe go look and compare that to some other countries out there. You might be surprised at what you find. Again, we're not just going to throw all the numbers in your face. We're going to give you what we can. During the video, I am going to try to post some graphics here to kind of support some charts supporting what Kyle and I have been talking about through the video.
Yeah, just so you guys can see for yourselves, because I think this is one of those ones you definitely should get your eyes on. And I think it's a wake-up call when you realize how bad you're being screwed over.
Yeah, these charts are brought to you by the Economic Policy Institute. You'll see it marked on the thing. Shout out to them for their incredible work on gathering all this information. There's a lot of data here. And then I'll put up a few things with some more recent information up here, kind of talking about worker pay. I think I wanted, kind of throw in the difference in wages and then see how people scale. I wanted to show people the scale of CEO to worker pay ratio over time.
Which, yeah, as they should. I think people should get a good look at that. Then you'll realize how bad it is. I mean, this is a very much a situation where we, the lower classes, are being brutally robbed.
Yep.
It's not even funny. Like, we're having our futures taken from us, stripped away, just so some greedy old fucks can keep having a hoard of wealth.
Yep. So like Kyle said, as the last question, what's a bright future to you? What should the world look like?
Not just the world. Let's just stick with our country. How should our country look like?
Yeah.
Because if we can set the standard with our country, other people can pick up on it and progress that way too.
Yep. We can be the better example.
We can go back to being a beacon for what freedom, happiness, and actual society looks like. Because we are not a society right now.
No, I think it's just a tag we like using.
It is. We want to feel more important because we're not.
Or we're somehow more put together and civilized in other countries. We're not.
We're not.
So, as always, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. We appreciate you.
We do. We thank you very much for watching the whole video. I know it's probably long again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But we do appreciate you guys sticking with us. Again, we know we're a small channel right now, a small podcast, but we do appreciate all the followers. We appreciate all the subscribers. We've slowly seen the numbers going up, which is awesome. We've been getting some likes on shorts, which is great to see.
I think for fun, episode 10, we'll just put a list of our current subscribers and just give a big thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we do appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. And hopefully as we go forward, if the channel and the podcast become more successful, we'll try to do some cool giveaways for our subscribers and maybe even do like a tiered thing for people who have been here for, since the beginning. So do like a cool raffle.
Once we start picking up, we got some ideas we want to do, especially fun ideas for you guys.
Yeah.
As viewers and subscribers. But we're not there yet.
Nah.
We got a little ways to go.
A little bit.
A little bit.
So
if you liked what you heard, you enjoyed what we talked about, leave a like, subscribe. If you hated it, dislike, comment. We don't care.
Tell us we're turd sucks.
We don't care.
We don't. We're going to make fun of the comments if you talk shit about us. So,
but on a real note, keep it sleazy.
Later, nerds.
Did you see what I just found over here?
What?
If you scroll down, I might have found a pattern on this.
Where are you at?
With these rich fuckers.
Okay.
So Epstein, right?
Yeah.
Like reports came out, like how he's got a weird looking dick.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So like Trump, right?
Yeah.
Little baby mushroom, weird looking dick.
That's right. Stormy Daniels even said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, but
well, Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, probably weird looking dick.
Whoa.
Hold on. Just Staley. Probably weird looking dick.
That's true.
Also been reports in the files.
Weird looking dick.
Weird looking dick. Roger Stone. Weird looking dick.
It's a pattern.
It's like they all got weird looking dicks.
All these weird fucks got weird looking dicks.
What up with that? You weird dick motherfuckers?